You got to know this though. I don't care how fundamental a right is. No right is absolute.
God give us those rights.
I'm going to tell you, you believe it in your heart, you read it on a website and you believe it, but let me tell you what the law is. And we can debate it. The government can interfere with fundamental rights if it is necessary for a compelling governmental interest and they use the least restrictive means possible. Now that is the law. And public safety, that's the test from the U.S. Supreme Court. And the U.S. Supreme Court is the final arbiter of the United States Constitution. Been that way since Marbury v. Madison. Look it up.
That's man's law, not God's law. We have a right to protect.
We're talking about constitutional law.
That's man's law.
It is man's law.
Not God's law.
Hold it, wait a minute.
You asked me.
We're not going to get here and get in an argument. This is not what this is about. This is educational. I understand there's going to be some disagreement, but this is Moccasin Creek House.
Thank you.
We are not going to sit here and argue with our guests. Ask them questions, but do it Southern style. Okay, you understand what that means?
The Second Amendment is man-made law. It is not God's law. I wish it were. Okay?
Unalienable law, not inalienable, unalienable, which means granted by your Creator. Unalienable, not inalienable.
Everything is granted by our Creator. Okay?
It's nature's law.
But law can be abridged by the proper authorities for necessary and compelling governmental interests. Any lawyer will tell you that. Any law professor will tell you that. And I understand if you don't agree.
We've done enough. I apologize, fellas, but really, we're getting a little bit out of hand. Ask your questions. I understand emotion. I agree with some of what you're saying, but this is not, you're not going to argue in our house. You may not like what you hear, but at least let him say it.
Folks, as I said at the beginning, you're not going to agree with everything that we say. But we take an oath to do what the Constitution says, folks. And I couldn't go home tonight if I didn't treat everybody the same. And that's just the way my daddy raised me, and I'm going to continue to do that. I made mistakes. A lot of you know. But I can tell you this, I will never tell you a lie. And if I don't know and give you the answer, I don't know. So this gentleman's had his hand up there, jumping up and down. So.
I have read and I have heard that within his own county, the sheriff is the supreme arbiter of the law. Amen. He can tell the President of the United States to go pound sand if what the President tells him to do is against the law. The people have to support him. Am I on thin ice there, or is that straight?
The question was, he says that he's heard and read that the sheriff is supreme in the county. Thank you. I wish it was, but unfortunately I'm not, and we're not. If it's unconstitutional, then yes, we probably could say, go stick it or whatever you want to say. I don't care. But that's up to the courts. And like John says, whether you like it or not, that's the way our system works. Look, I don't like everything the way our system works, but I'm a citizen of this county, and I'm a citizen of North Carolina and the United States. I've got to abide by it, whether we like it or not. Listen, I'm just proud of you for being here. As I said earlier, you're standing up for what you believe in. We don't do enough of that. That's why we're here today. We have allowed stuff to happen that doesn't need to happen.
I agree.
I mean, seriously, guys and ladies, stop and think, those of you that my age, did you have school resource officers in your school? No. No, because the principals and the teachers had some authority and they took care of business. But let me tell you something, that ain't the way it works today. Everybody gets sued. They're scared to do anything. Why? Because we have allowed it to happen. Amen. You didn't stand up for it like you're doing tonight. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And this gentleman over here don't shoot me if I don't look at him.
No, he won't.
No, don't get that.
I will call you a former Moccasin Creek. I haven't seen you lately.
I got a son of Scouts and didn't miss a lot of Tuesday nights. I'm sorry. Donnie, I want to tell you, first I thank you for your service to our country, to the county and everything else. Yeah. I say something from the heart. I'm not a militant person. I've been in this area in business about 23 years. I serve my church. I serve my God. I try to help people. I try to pay my taxes. But I keep seeing and hearing all the problems, what we got. And the bigger problem in the country is a spiritual problem. It ain't got nothing to do with coke or religion or nobody else. But the thing that bothers me, as a man, as a father, I've not been in the military, sir. I finally got the guts to try. I wanted to fly and told me I was too old. But I have sworn oath. We all did tonight when we said it, the pledge of allegiance to that flag. As a man, as an American, I can tell you, there's no offense to you, sir, as a lawyer, but I think it's about half the problem with our country today.
I agree.
Because you get a left one in there, and they write the laws the way they want. Like when they pass health care, all of us got to take. They ain't got to take it. They ain't got to pay the taxes. I'm up to here with it. And I'm not going to go postal. All I'm saying is, as a man, there's a line that I have drawn myself. Do not come to my house and take my guns. I do not care what nobody passes. Anybody can put anything on paper. But as an American, I have kids. I have a future I want to see them have in this country that we have. And I will fight for it, sir. I am a patriot.
And I'm going to tell you again, that's not going to happen. And I want to say to the service people here, thank you for what you've done and what you do. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be able to be here tonight. And I can tell you that. Okay, that lady right there.
You keep saying that's not going to happen. Well, none of us thought that a man who was not even eligible to be president would be installed in the White House. So our problem is you do have the supreme law of the land. You do have that power. Everybody in this room, Google Sheriff Richard and Matt and research.
That's the mistake right there.
No, you can stop. If he does an executive order, you do not have to obey it. You need to research the Constitution. It's based on nature's law, which is based on God's law. We can protect ourselves. That's the bottom line.
Okay, I can tell you that's not, he's not right. In some things, executive orders and stuff, it's still got to be approved unconstitutional. I mean, I'm glad that they think we've got those rights, and yes, we have a lot of authority, but I'm telling you folks, it goes back to the court system, our legislators, and you say what's happening, it's because we have allowed it to happen. You talk about lawyers, and we're not the best in the world on lawyers and law enforcement, as you might know. But there again, we've allowed this to happen in our legislature, and anything that we do, we have allowed it to happen because we don't have to put the people in there that's not doing the job. But we sit back until something like this gets us spurred up. Then we want to come out here and change the world. We can't do it. You got to work on it all the time. You got to stay involved in it.
I want to say one thing. In the Constitution, in the second section, an executive order is only for the executive branch of government. It goes no further.